of the topics we have listed is values, and values are so important to consider constantly throughout our professional practice. So we talk about personal values and we talk about professional values. And you can think back to the code of ethics and some of the values that are represented by the ethics that guide our professional practice. And then we also ask you to really look at what are your personal values. Obviously, you have personal values that align themselves with social work's professional values, or you probably wouldn't be in this profession. But sometimes we have personal values that don't necessarily align. And this is true for every social worker. So if ever I meet a person who says, oh, my personal values and professional values line themselves up exactly, I think, wow, well, then we're not really looking more carefully at and being really honest about what our values are, because it happens for me all the time that I have a personal value that in some way might be intersecting with my professional values, and it really brings up issues of what do we do with that in practice. So I want you to reflect on what sort of values you have that you use in your practicum experience and in your practice that you feel like align themselves with social work values, and where are some areas maybe that you've struggled a little to because you have a personal value that sometimes might intersect differently than the professional values do. The other thing I always want us to always be aware of in professional practice is that our personal values get in the way. And we have to always be sure and asking ourselves, especially when we're having a gut reaction to something, or we're finding ourselves disturbed by something, or struggling to have a hard time, to really do that self-reflexive piece, which I know we have another button on, which we've talked a lot about, but to really think about, oh my gosh, what piece of this is me and my own perspectives and my own values that might be perhaps getting in the way of me being a more objective and a better social worker. And it's something we have to stop and do continuously. We've never arrived at having that completed. So in thinking about these topics, tell us a little bit about how you might have struggled with similar things, or where you find these issues coming up in your practice.